And back to another one of our top stories, Haiti. The death toll has risen further to nearly 2,000 people. Local impatience and anger is growing at the slow pace of rescue and recovery efforts. Vladimir Duthiers flew into areas destroyed in the disaster, and he joins us now from Port-au-Prince. Vlad, good morning.
Laura, good morning. The crumbled buildings and the shattered lives seem endless as we toured through towns near the epicenter of Saturday's quake. And now for those with nowhere to go, the question going forward is how to rebuild.
Our flight into the quake zone could not prepare us for the destruction down below. Once we arrived in Lakai, the devastation surrounded us, homes and businesses unrecognizable to those who call this city home.
I'm standing atop what used to be a 4-story hotel. On Saturday, when the earthquake struck, multiple people were crushed and killed, including a former Haitian senator. And that's the thing about earthquakes. They don't discriminate.
About 10 miles from Lakai sits the small village of Maniche, where the damage was even more profound, made even worse by the battering rain from Tropical Depression Grace. Driving through the town, we saw hundreds of villagers roaming outside without a place to call home.
This car was completely flattened when this house collapsed, essentially pancaking it. Across the street here, this Catholic church has stood in Maniche for over 100 years. It's been utterly destroyed, and now, due to the aftershocks, there's a real fear that this tower could come crashing down and hurt more people.
For those already injured, help is a world away.
We showed you how victims of the earthquake are being ferried to hospitals in Port-au-Prince. Here's why. This is what's left of the only hospital in Maniche.
The town's mayor, David Brina, says about 98% of Maniche was destroyed.
They need water and they need food.
Et nous besoin également assistance sanitaire.
And they need assistance with the sanitary conditions. This is exactly what leads to disease.
We spoke to Mireille, whose sister died in the quake. She says many villagers have simply lost hope.
Mireille says that she's seen that the focus has been on the bigger cities in Haiti that were affected by the earthquake. But here in Maniche, no one has paid a lot of attention to them. They feel left behind. They feel as if no one is coming for them. The damage was amplified by Tropical Depression Grace, which caused mudslides and some rivers to swell. That's cut off some of the most remote villages from getting any aid at all, Laura. And it's really unclear how and when they could receive it.
Wow, Vlad, your reporting was so extensive, how you took us to see that crushed car, that church tower. Was there anything that you saw that you couldn't include in that report that you want to tell us about now?
You know, one of the things that we witnessed when we were in Maniche, and we've spoken about this before, but, you know, oftentimes when reporters or NGOs, aid workers, medical professionals fan out across the country to try and save people's lives, oftentimes they're mostly going to some of the cities and the smaller towns. They don't have the capabilities often of getting to the remote villages because they're either cut off because of swollen rivers or because they just can't get to them. They are deep and remote in the mountains. And so it was striking to talk to some of the townsfolk in Maniche who talked about their situation being really, really urgent, Laura, but that the situation of their neighbors in the mountains being dire. And I found that to be absolutely heartbreaking to know that there are some people who receive medical care after a family member or neighbor carried them on their backs or in a wheelbarrow over treacherous terrain just to get them to Maniche, which doesn't have a hospital, which means another arduous journey to the capital of Port-au-Prince. That is the condition that many are facing right now. And in Maniche, they explained very clearly to us that no one is thinking about them because a lot of other NGOs and aid groups are focused on the bigger cities like Lakai and Jeremy.
But what incredible spirit and empathy for them. We saw what they're experiencing, but to say, hey, these people over here have it even worse, please help them. I'm sure they were glad to see you and your cameras and know that that attention is being called to that area so that help can get there hopefully a little quicker. I'm wondering what is being done. You showed us that tower that it's so precariously standing there and any aftershock could topple it. What is being done to secure buildings that are still standing but might come down?
You know, it's hard to say, Laura. You know, that church has stood there for 110 years. If the example of the National Cathedral here in Port-au-Prince is any indication, that was the oldest cathedral in Port-au-Prince. It was a symbol for many, many Haitians, not just here, but the diaspora in the United States and in Canada and in France. And that has yet to be rebuilt. So my guess is that it will probably remain as it is unless there's a way to bring down that tower safely. All they could do while we were there is put some caution tape around the structure and hope that nobody finds themselves very close to it, because there are still aftershocks occurring, and any aftershock could bring that tower down.
You talked about some of the impatience and anger. How much longer can the government response be this lacking before people's patience runs out completely and we see wider civil unrest?
Well, to be fair, the government is responding, but the response is limited. Haiti is a poor country, and the government is unstable, I should say, at the moment because of the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse. There's an interim prime minister. He has vowed to step up the rescue and recovery operations. We're now at the point, Laura, where, you know, under the conditions that we witnessed back in 2010, when there were many, many, many organizations that were here trying to rescue folks trapped in the rubble. My suspicion is now, you know, 4 days on from the earthquake, without the massive response that we saw back in 2010, because the damage here is further afield and it's more spread out, it's more widespread in different cities, that, you know, hope is fast fading for those who may be still trapped under the rubble. Those rescue operations are still ongoing, but, you know, the fact is that the government needs assistance from the AIDS groups and the United States. President Biden has vowed to do all that he can to ensure that Haiti gets what it needs, but it's really, really going to be slow going. And of course, the question going forward will be how to rebuild those areas. That, I think, is probably critical. The folks that we met in Manish, look, they are still sleeping outdoors. They don't have tents. They don't have access to clean water. They don't have access to food. They don't even have beds. I mean, one woman we spoke to, it just broke my heart. Her name was Mireille, when she explained to me that, you know, they have nowhere to go and they don't know what to do. And so it's going to be very, very difficult going forward. We are going to embed today and over the course of the next couple of days with a couple of aid groups, including MSF, and hopefully we'll get to see what work that they do, which brings some relief to folks, and we'll probably report that back to you tomorrow morning.
Well, we are looking forward to that report. Vlad, thank you so much.